if but when. And it's been proven in many studies that if a driver activates ABS in their own personal vehicle or a vehicle similar to it 3 times in a closed course environment, then they are much more likely to use that ABS system if the need presents itself in the real world. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to give you 3 opportunities apiece, 6 runs per car, to hammer the brake pedal as hard as possible and see how that car responds to that heavy braking input. We will do it at varying speeds. That way we can learn how speed affects braking distance when we introduce it as a variable. And they're making their final run. Let's pull up here. Get a little preview, or some of you will. You kind of see what's going on here. Alright, 2 tall green cones that I've stopped at. This is the staging area. This is where the starting line is, where you're waiting on me to call you down. When I call you down, I'll call you by car number, and I'll give you a target speed. That target speed should be considered the speed limit, alright? Because that's kind of what we're simulating here. We're cruising down a highway at the speed limit, and all of a sudden a need presents itself to slam the brake pedal. Go ahead and follow me. Let's go down here and look at that braking zone. Since we're simulating driving at the speed limit, when you're called, you will want to accelerate aggressively to that speed limit. Try to get there as soon as possible, and then level out and maintain, just like you would in a real world, right? You'd be maintaining the speed limit down the highway. You'll continue to maintain that speed limit all the way up until your front bumper gets to these 2 red and white cones. Those 2 red and white cones is when you transition from the gas to the brake pedal, making that movement as quickly as possible and pressing the brake pedal all the way to the floor as soon as you touch it, and then hold it down until you come to a full and complete stop. Once you came to that full and complete stop, I'll give you some feedback on what you may have done correctly or incorrectly, and then I'll ask you to make a U-turn, and we're just going to use the opposite side of the road that we came down to return back to the starting line. Before I release all 3 of you to do that, though, I'd like to do a couple demonstration runs. I'm a firm believer in demonstration runs, so I'm going to do 2 visual demonstrations. Pull up real close here, nose to tail, that way we get all the cars in a single file line. I'm going to do 2 visual demonstrations at different speeds. The first one will be at a breakneck pace of 25 miles an hour. School zone speed. Holy moly. And what I'd like you to pay attention to during this 25 mile an hour run is when I get down here and hit the brake pedal, I'd like you to pay attention to the left front wheel and tire on my vehicle. You'll actually be able to see that tire almost locking up and unlocking. It's sort of a chattering effect, if you would. And what you're seeing when you see that is the ABS system doing its job. You can actually see it from outside the car. Before I go get into position to do this first demo, I'd also like to point out, look over here to the left, this first row of blue and white cones closest to your vehicle, those are fairly equal in distance apart. I'd like you to pick one where you think I'll stop at 25 miles an hour. First, second, third, fourth, fifth cone. Each of you pick one where you think I'm going to stop. And while you're thinking on it, I'm going to go down here and get in position. Car 1, just hold the group there. As mentioned, this stretch of road here is our return area, our return route. When you get back, I don't mind you having some fun on the return route, but when you get back to this U-turn, don't just huck it into this U-turn on hopes and dreams. Get it slowed down to 10 miles an hour before you make the U-turn, just like you probably would in real life. Alright, here I am. I'm at the green cones. I'm about to make my 25 mile an hour run. Here we go. And there's 25. It didn't take me long to get there. At this point, I'm just maintaining speed. As soon as my front bumper gets to those red and whites, I make a quick transition, slam the brake pedal. Now, I'd like you to pay attention to something. I'm still on the brake. Watch what happens to my body when I release the brake. Alright? That's how hard I'm hitting it. I'm hitting the brake so hard that I push myself up and out of the seat. Right? If you can do that, I want you to do the same. Now, back to the left front tire. Did you see the left front tire? Yeah, you did? Did you see it? Now, did you see it? You saw the chattering? Very good. So that's proof. Right? I'm going to be looking for the same thing when you get the brake. And if you hear me say, hey, I didn't see those front tires chattering, you can hit the pedal harder, then you know I'm not lying to you. Because I can see it from outside the car. And then back to the distance. Where do you think I was going to stop, car one? You said 1 cone? So that's pretty close. Guess. How about you, car two?
1.5.
1.5, so you were real close. And how about you, car three? You said 3 cones? Oh, it was a split household, huh? 1 and 2. Both of you pretty close. So now I want to double my speed. I'm going to go 50. Where do you think I'm going to stop, car one? Double the speed. You said up there. I don't know. Pick a cone. 3 cones? 3 cones. Very good. How about you?
2.5.
2.5. And you say 4 and 3. Another split household decision there. I think all of you are going to be very surprised on how speed affects stopping distance when we introduce them as a variable. I'm going to back up here. This is one of those moments. Do as I say, not as I do. But just backing up is quicker for your driving time. And also, I will put the radio down for this run as it's a much higher speed, and I'd like both my hands to be on the wheel. So at this point, you're probably all realizing you have no idea how big of an influence speed has on braking distance. When we double our speed, it's not just a little bit further it takes to slow the car, or double the distance to slow the car. It's squared. Double the speed, 4 times the stopping distance. Triple the speed, 9 times the stopping distance required to slow the vehicle. And this is simply a starting point. Right? It will always be double the speed, 4 times the stopping distance, regardless of what you're driving, an X5, a 3 Series, or a bicycle, for that matter. If physics, it doesn't discriminate. It works evenly on everything. Now, the savvy ones in the group might be saying to themselves, well, that was actually more than 4 times the stopping distance, and it was. Remember, that's a minimum. When we double our speed 4 times the distance, that's a minimum. There are other influences to consider as well, like the surface you're driving on. Is it dirty? Is it wet? The elevation change. In this scenario, I had to steer. And anytime we steer and brake, it extends the stopping distance even further. This is something to consider out in the real world. When you're looking ahead and you see, hey, I'm going to have to brake as I'm turning, well, you have to brake earlier because it takes longer to slow the car at that point. All things that we need to consider when we're driving around at these higher rates of speed, even the lower rates of speed for that matter. But